Meet Will and Tom, two seemingly ordinary men, cursed with a gift of vast knowledge that is forever expanding. Possessing incredible insight with unparalleled skills and expertise. Let us join them as they embark on a journey to quench their thirst for the truth while answering the questions to life's most intriguing mysteries. Let us open our minds and ask, dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Think of your innermost thoughts. The thoughts you keep private, things you only say to yourself. Thoughts you take care to keep hidden or buried. Now imagine them being exposed for anyone to see and hear. All of your inner monologue made public so that anyone could see your true intentions. How would that make you feel? Would you think any differently? How would society be changed? Let us focus on what our two private podcasters, Will and Tom, have to say about the politics of privacy. Welcome back, everybody. This is Tom Case.
And this is Will Stark.
Will, this is episode 3 now, and I understand that the first 2 episodes were a little different. We had, a little...
We had a twofer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had a 2-parter there, and, it was a little bit different than, I guess, what our listeners are probably used to. Yeah. But we're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back and give them,
back to basics.
We're going to bring back the goodness that started the show.
Okay.
So we have 2 questions this episode.
All right.
Question number 1.
Okay, we're diving right in.
We're going to dive right in, Will.
Okay.
Actually, no. We're not going to dive right in.
Stop.
You know what?
Don't dive.
Yes, do not dive. Abort. I actually wanted to bring something up. I think it was on the last episode we did the messages from beyond.
Oh, yeah.
And I totally blanked and spaced out on one of the messages from beyond.
Okay.
And I really, I liked this message and I really wanted to include it, but I forgot. So I'm going to include it right here at the beginning before we go to the question 1. And that was actually from one of our listeners who follows our Twitter. Mm-hmm. K Slominator.
K Slominator. All right. Thank you, K Slominator.
Yes. Thank you very much. She actually wrote something that was very nice, and I'll read that right now. K Slominator says, I absolutely love in all capitals. I absolutely love listening to at DCY Imagine, but it's tough not being able to put my own 2 cents into the conversation. So today I'm putting my 2 cents into the Christmas episode via Twitter thread. You're welcome.
Awesome.
Now, she did go on and, I'm very sorry, Case Laminator. What you wrote was very awesome. It was very nice. I encourage all of our listeners who are either a part of our Twitter or not to go and check out what she had to say on our Christmas episode. We thought it was very interesting what you had to say, and including some of your own ideas and things that you had experiences with. But it's very long, so I'm not going to go through all of that. But we do appreciate your kind words that you love to listen to us.
Yes, thank you very much.
And now we shall dive into the first question.
Let's hear it.
First question is, what if there was no privacy of thought?
I feel like we've covered something along these lines before, have we not?
I don't think so. Now, I can't think of one where...
I swear we did an episode where you were talking about people, like a movie where...
Oh, I did mention that there was a movie that was like this.
Okay,
right?
All right.
But we never actually did that
this question. Yeah. Okay. Did that movie inspire this question?
So, kind of. But I always had actually thought about these type of things. Like, man, this is going to make me sound like such a psycho. Mm-hmm. But sometimes, and it's not all the time, okay? It's very rare, but sometimes,
okay, all right.
Like I will be talking to someone or whatever, or I'm sitting next to someone.
Right.
And it usually happens during those like uncomfortable silences, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes this thought creeps into my head where I'm thinking, can that person hear what I'm thinking? You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm just like, what if I don't know and
Right.
this person has that ability and they're hearing everything that I'm thinking?
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like, and who knows what I could have been thinking about them or somebody else, or who knows, you know?
Right. Okay. I think I've had thoughts like that, and not in a long time, but I feel like I have had that thought before. What are the parameters?
So
how does this work?
The parameters are actually, it's not even just like if somebody can hear what you're thinking. According to the movie that kind of inspired this, it almost works in a weird, let's say, like almost like a thought bubble, right?
Okay.
Imagine having a thought bubble that forms above your head, right? Like
All
right
right.
above your forehead.
Okay.
And it's basically going to show someone not only just audio, but like a visual of what you're thinking at every moment at that time. So when somebody looks at you, whatever you may be thinking about at that time, they will not only be able to see what you're thinking about, like it would give like like if you're thinking bad of someone, like if, like, you know, most likely what someone will see and hear is like this person that you're thinking of, and you maybe cussing at them or yelling at them or saying what you think is wrong, that you don't like about them.
Okay.
Or even if it's vice versa, like maybe you're thinking about someone you like, and then it's going to show like how you like them, what you like about them. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like,
So you'd be able to see stuff like, what about audio? Would they hear?
yeah, they will hear it too. But it's not like an audio, like it's a focused audio. So if we're in a room and you're not actively looking at someone, you're not going to see or hear what it is that they're thinking. You have to literally be like, what's this person thinking? And then if you stare at them for at least a second or two, it's going to focus in on them.
Man, everything you tell me just changes my answer so dramatically.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well, now I'm kind of wondering what you... Okay, first answer according to parameters. After that, tell me what
so it just adds on. So, like, one of the things that would definitely be super changed about society is there would be active, and this would be done from a very early childhood. It'd be one of our key communication skills and like just our key education, if you will, thought control. We would literally be very expertly trained in controlling our thoughts, at least in public,
even,
right?
Like probably in school and stuff, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
That would be that. It wouldn't be the only thing that changes, but it would be one of the first things. The other would be there would probably be a certain level of honesty, that like day-to-day face-to-face honesty that does not happen in today's society.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm talking about little things too. Like, how many times has someone at work like done something a little bit unscrupulous, a little bit irksome, that kind of like fucks everyone over, and then they like go to lunch early or whatever, right? And they know no one will say anything, so they're just like, yeah, whatever. And they get away with it, right? That wouldn't happen anymore because literally everyone's thoughts would be attacking you over it. Yeah. So there would be just a certain level of like integrity and honesty, even though it's like forced through like social fear. Yeah, that would probably be implemented across the board.
You put that in a very interesting context, into the context of employment, like when you're at work, because that happens a lot where we work. You know what I mean?
People are shitty. People are shitty all the time.
And I really think that you're right. That kind of thing would not fly anymore because people would automatically know.
Exactly.
Unless then you do meet that person who really doesn't care, and then you would.
Oh yeah, those people will exist.
Yeah, and those people will see that person's thoughts of like, I don't care, I don't like this, I don't like it, whatever, I'm doing what I want. Right. And then maybe it'll still continue.
Right.
I did want to bring up real quick though, that fact that you brought up is actually, I suffer from it a little bit. I have a problem when, like, sometimes my wife will ask me something like, how does this look on me? Or do you like this or do you like that? And like, I just never want to hurt her feelings. So I never want to just flat out say, that does not look good or this or that. You know what I mean? And like, and it is a problem because like,
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say there should be a level of honesty. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where I should just go out and say that. That's probably the right way to do it.
I will say, like, it's so funny how much, like, the more I get to know you, the more drastically apparent, like, the differences in our relationships are with our significant others. Because me and Michelle, we don't have that problem. We are honest with each other, but we're honest in a way that doesn't hurt each other's feelings. Yeah. And be like, oh no, that's not flattering because X, Y, and Z. And like, I actually like these things better because X, Y, and Z. And like, what do you think? And we bounce back and forth and we come to a conclusion together. I feel like we are on the opposite ends of the spectrum because I do ultimately get to
the right conclusion of the right goal, but I get there very differently.
Yeah.
I'm always like, she'll be like, oh, what about this? I'm like, it looks okay. It doesn't look that bad. I use a lot of words like, I'm always like, it's okay. It's not that bad. You know, I'll use those terms. And people who really know me, like my wife and like a couple of my other close friends, they know when I say that, they know what it means. What I'm really saying is, yeah, that's not good. Yeah. That's not, I just don't want to say it in a way where I think it's harsh. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, but there are ways to say it where it's not harsh. You could say something along the lines of like, that's just not you. Like, that's not your style. Like, it doesn't, that when I see that, I'm like, it just doesn't fit you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. You're right. You're right. It's just, I don't know. That's just
it's not that there's anything wrong with them, or even that there's anything wrong with the clothes themselves. Yeah. They just don't fit together well.
Yeah, that is true. But I've been trying to get better, like, because the last time when that happened, she did straight up tell me, she's like, okay, look, I get that you're trying to spare some feelings or whatever, just in case. Right. But she's like, basically, she's like, but if you don't tell me the truth, I'm going to think, okay, then this might be okay to wear or whatever when it doesn't look good. And then she'll be out in public. And if someone else says something else, she's going to be more upset that I didn't tell her. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, here's another example in that, like when it comes to my significant other, like there is an understanding and agreement that like if something is wrong, like if something's wrong with her hair or something on her face, or like, I don't know, like something of hers is on wrong because of whatever reason, like it's my job or her job to tell the other person because we're in public and like she wants to know. She doesn't care about the embarrassment of finding out. She would be more upset that I didn't tell her.
Yeah.
But back to your question. So those first two things I brought up would still be in effect, but this would actually mitigate them. Because when you first brought up the question, I thought those first two factors would be like the all-encompassing ones, but then you brought in that it's a focus thing, which immediately made me think of like this other thing, which would overshadow the other two. It would be borderline socially absolutely unacceptable to look at each other, except for in private.
Oh,
that is
you think
one of the fundamental societal things that would become implemented very early on.
Oh, I never thought about that.
People would like consider it beyond rude. It would be straight up intrusive.
Because technically, you would be like
it would just be unheard of, like to look at someone without permission. You know what I mean?
So in a world where, in this, scenario where I'm trying to make it to where you have no privacy of thought, that you would think that society would then form a way to still have privacy.
Absolutely. If it's as easy as not focusing on each other, like obviously there's going to be people who are really good at sneaking it. There's going to be really good people who are trained like from an early age to absolutely have mastery over their thoughts. But like that's like no one's going to be able to. Very, very few people are going to be able to have like a high level of mastery, maybe just a rudimentary one. And if it's as easy as just not looking, like basically your boss doesn't want you looking at him or her.
Yeah,
like
other
coworkers don't want you looking at them. No one's going to want you looking at them unless you're a significant other in a private thing, or if like you want to like show how honest you're being. Like it would be like a point of like of integrity and honor of like, look at me, look me in my eyes. And then you say something to them, and they're going to see your thoughts at the same time. Like that would be you like understating how serious you are about the thing you're talking about.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. See, the reason I brought up that little part of the parameter was because I was thinking in my head like, if you heard everyone and everything at the same time,
you'd be inundated.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. You would be able to live. So people would not look at each other, at least in the face. We would be downcast. You know what I mean? Like we would keep our eyes like on the ground. It would just be the polite thing to do.
So, but the first two things you said, no matter, even if it wasn't that way, like if
because it's too, like, even though like that would be like, there would be societal pressure that, no one really looks at each other. Like what's going to stop someone from looking at you when you're not looking?
Yeah.
Like that's why you're still going to need the thought suppression training. And then what was the other thing I brought up? Just the fact that like honesty is probably going to be people are just going to be a little more honest.
Yeah.
A little more straightforward because there's going to be a lot less nuance between like, passive aggressivism is going to basically not exist. Like if you are trying to be passive aggressive to someone in your home, they're going to look at you and they're going to hear your real literal thoughts. You know what I mean? So like, there's no point in being passive aggressive.
Like,
You know?
oh, gee, thanks for leaving this mess for me to clean up.
And it's just like that person throttling you to death. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. That was so funny.
So yeah, there's a lot of subtleties to human communication that will be super minimized or even just completely done away with.
Man, you know what? I see. That's very interesting. Now I'm really glad that I asked you this question, because like you did bring up things that I never even thought about, which then would make me think like, so if that were the case, then doing other certain things in society, like going on a date, would be something way more serious than it is now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because now a lot of people just go on dates and they're just like, oh, I'm just going to have fun without even, sometimes I know people who have gone on dates without even the intention of like, I'm not even going to see where this leads. I'm just going on this date.
Yeah.
And then next week I'm going on a date with somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right. I think it would eliminate, well, as far as I can foresee, it would eliminate a lot of the dangers of dating, specifically for women, of like, you don't know what the other person's thinking, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
like
true.
They might be putting up, all kinds of different fronts. It might be a front because they want to impress you. It might be a front because they want to get in bed with you specifically as fast as possible, or it could be a front because they're looking to fucking do something really nefarious. You know what I mean? Either way, like, it's going to be much difficult for there to be someone capable of that level of facade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about that too, how do you think it would differ, like, let's say in the political world? Because in that type of scenario, like, you need your constituents and whoever else
Everyone's gonna
to
be
look at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that would have such a huge impact, because being in any position of leadership in a world where things are televised and all the other stuff, and social media and all that stuff, like pursuing a role of leadership of any kind, I think a lot of the people who are attracted to doing that now will not be attracted to doing that anymore, because they don't want their inner thoughts to be known, because a lot of people, they are ambitious for the selfish reasons, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And I think, I'm sure human beings always have workarounds, right? Especially people who are nefarious. There's always workarounds. But I think positions in the limelight would probably be much more attractive to people who are honest, and have good thoughts about what they are trying to do.
So in other words, we'd have better politicians.
Yeah, I think that
so
might be
too,
a factor. Another thing too, my worry would be like a system might develop where those in charge and people who are in leadership roles basically make it so they don't have to be seen anymore. You know what I mean? Like, who knows how humanity develops.
Maybe they would lead from behind the curtain or whatever you want to say.
Right?
Yeah,
which is distinctly possible.
Yeah, that's true.
But even then, it's a difficulty for them to overcome. But man, I had a thought, and I've completely lost what it was. But I had a thought before the politicians thing. I think there would also be a lot. There would be a certain level of just accepting. Like, for instance, intrusive thoughts happen. They happen to everybody. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, intrusive thoughts are thought to be a defense mechanism. Like, for example, sometimes you'll be behind the wheel of a car and you will have a thought of like, oh man, like I could literally turn left and kill myself and everyone in this car, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Even though you actively do not want to do that thing, there is a small part of your brain that almost feels drawn to that thing, right?
Yes.
There is a phrase for it, and it's in French. I don't remember what it is, but essentially translates.
Oh, you did tell me this.
Yeah, it translates to the call of the void. And basically the call of the void, like almost like if you're standing on the edge of the cliff, the call of jumping off into the void.
Because I do get those thoughts when I'm on like something up high, I'm always like looking down. Yeah. And I have a fear of heights. But sometimes I'll still look down and I do think to myself like, what if I just jump?
Exactly.
Even though I don't want to do that. Right. I am not suicidal or nothing
Almost
like that.
Everyone experiences this. And it is thought to be a defense mechanism. It's actually your brain like going through the scenario to reinforce of like, you do not want to do that. Like, please step away from this ledge.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's a weird way to go about it, but that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like there would just have to be a certain level of acceptance of like people having certain thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, God, not to sound like a weirdo, but I'm pretty sure everyone has experienced this at least a few times in their life. Sometimes you'll be talking to somebody of the opposite gender and they will be very attractive, and like you're not interested in them in that way. You're not thinking of them in that way, but sometimes thoughts just pop in your head, right? Yeah. And you'll quickly be like, oh, push that away because that's not what I'm trying to think about right now. But I think it's just part of being a human being.
Yeah,
like, we will have to have a certain level of acceptance because like a lot of that will not be necessarily controllable to a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean, I
to a
control
small
it
degree
all the time. I never have any of those thoughts. Will, I don't know what you're talking about. So like
maybe you should go see it, get help.
The only time that happens when I'm talking to my wife, and that's it. So I don't know what you mean.
Right?
No, just
that's too funny. But that's what I mean is like. Yeah, maybe honesty between couples would be really interesting too.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I was thinking. That's why I wanted to bring up the fact about dating would be something much, much more serious than how I feel dating is taken nowadays.
Right.
Because of the fact that, yes, the parts that you brought up, very true too. But the other aspect of it of like, when you're going on a date, you are focusing on the other person. That's what the whole idea about it usually is.
I think there would be different dating subcultures. So I think there would be like hardcore, not hardcore, that's not the word I'm looking for, but like very serious courting, if you will, actual courting, where it's like you and the other person are looking for a significant other and you're going about this seriously. And so like that's where it would be drastically different. But I think there would be a hard opposite to that of people who like we're all in this world of like not being able to control our fucking stupid ass thoughts. Like, look, this isn't nothing serious. We're just here to fuck and like
that is true too. Yeah, you're probably right.
Because there already kind of is those things,
and you could always find
just
them.
more pronounced now.
Yeah, and I do think that it would be easier for them to find each other because like obviously you see the other person like, oh hey, this person just wants to have fun because of whatever their sex or whatever it is, and then the other person you're seeing their thoughts too, and you know that that's what they want too. So it's like they found each other. But yeah, you're right. On the other hand, you know what I mean? I have this like this thought going on in my head right now where probably two couples going out and just like you said, they probably are, adept at not focusing on each other, not looking at each other. But, when they're going out on this date and they're finally alone and they're talking, you know what I mean? I bet you it'll be one of those very serious moments, almost like your first kiss. I could hear like, let's say the guy asked the girl like, hey, can I focus? You know what I mean? Like say something like that, right?
No, yeah. I think you're right. But
and then the girl would say yes, and it's like, and then he looks up at her, looks at her eyes, and he could see her real thoughts and hear them.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, definitely a moment of like deep intimacy and like then vulnerability.
Yeah, and then he goes home, and then like oh dude, did you focus on her? Did you focus on her? You know what I mean? And you're like, dude, what is she thinking?
Oh
what is
my
she thinking
goodness,
of? You know what
Tom.
I mean? Like,
you're right though. You are absolutely right.
I think that's how that would go.
Yeah, man. Can you imagine how much of a fucking nightmare high school would be if this was reality?
Man.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is because like, who's to say like there's certain societal rules that people try to live by, but then you have like bullies, right? And they don't go by the same societal rules as most are, and that's what causes some problems. So they're probably those kind of problems would happen where someone would be focusing and trying to read your thoughts and use them against you, whatever it is. In high school, that would be horrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't see how they could. I don't know how they would fix.
Well,
this
again, we are putting in the context of our like society. I will say, like, remember, all these kids are being trained. There's going to be lots of stigmas and taboos about certain things from a very young age. And those will hold certain amounts of power and sway on even the teenage mind. You know what I mean? The adolescent mind, where, like it's really, really taboo to be staring at other people. If someone catches you, you will be shamed for it. You know what I mean? Like,
also too, just like what you said about being able to like try and control your thoughts or steer them in a certain direction. Yeah. Like I'm imagining people probably having a focus mantra or a song or a tune that they would just be humming or thinking about. So that way, when you look at them, that's all you see.
Right. Exactly.
And hopefully by high school, you're good enough to do that instead of having thoughts about what your hormones are making you try to think.
Right.
You know what I mean? One other aspect I was really interested in would be the entertainment business because of the fact like actors, right? How would that work out? Because that they're...
It would... You know what? There are currently like certain actors and actresses who are method actors, right? Mm-hmm. That would have to become the norm. Like, in order to be an actor, like, let's say things like plays and movies did eventually develop. I would hope they would. It'd be more difficult for them to, but I would hope they would. Then the actors in them would have to be completely method. So they are in their role and their thoughts, they are thinking the thoughts of their character. You know what I mean?
Because that would be the only way it matched.
Right, exactly. You know, and there are some actors who are crazy. They get super into the roles on that level where they do not go out of character and they live their lives. Like, what's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis. Like, I think for his Lincoln movie, like, he lived in a fucking log cabin.
Really?
And didn't have any technology. And like, I think I read that.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But like, that's the idea behind method actors, right?
Yeah.
So the only actors that would be able to make it to the screen would have to be method actors.
That would also too, and I didn't answer this. You didn't ask this question, but I guess that would be under the predicated that this thought, whatever you want to call it, thought bubble thing is transferred onto recording devices too.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So
like, are these thought bubbles actually part of reality, or can only we perceive them?
Oh,
like, can the video camera capture them? If not, then acting will be acting.
You know what? Just for the sake of argument, let's just say yes, it can capture them, because otherwise it would be acting's acting. But I think it's much more interesting if what would they have to do?
Even if the camera can't capture them, like, we can still see them on the TV, so we are still perceiving their thoughts.
Yeah, that's
there you
true.
go.
Yeah.
So we're back to the method acting, which would be interesting because like it would change how we watch movies. Like, it would probably change a little bit about how we read even fiction as well, because there would always be kind of two subtexts. There would be what's happening and then what is being thought. Just like in the movies, it's like we would see what the actions of people and the words of what they're saying, but we would also be seeing their thoughts while they're doing it.
Oh, you know what? That is weird. And then also too, I bet you there would be someone very creative who would make some type of coherent running visual of like what people were thinking of while making them, and then make a separate thing just based off of that.
I wonder if there would be people who are born who are exempt. You know, people whose thoughts can't be read for some reason.
Oh, I bet you those people will be heavily sought after by like government.
That, or would they be super ostracized by society? For like, imagine a world where like everyone's thoughts can be perceived, right?
Yeah.
It's just part of reality. And then there is a person whose thoughts can be perceived. Like, what kind of fear would boil up of like, what could they be thinking? They could be thinking anything. Like, we have no idea what kind of person they are.
Exactly.
Like, so
they'll be like, like get out of here, you silent motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, because to them they would be like,
get out of here, thoughtless.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, they call me thoughtless.
Yeah. You can't sit here, you thoughtless. You know what I mean? Seat's taken. But like, you know what I mean? But I bet you both would happen. Not only would the regular people in society probably almost shun them because they are so different,
right?
But I really feel like, you know, our government would probably want to use them, because that would be an invaluable thing to have someone who could carry on some secrets and go back and forth, how you would need to do it, and have no one be able to pick their brain from it. You know
sure.
What I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would play parts in both ways for sure.
Yeah. But dude, could you imagine?
Can anybody hear me? Please hear me. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? If you can hear me, this is Fritz Frivolous. I need your help. I'm stuck. Somehow stuck inside the minds of Will and Tom. I need to escape. Please support them and their podcast. You can go to patreon.com/dudecouldyouimagine or leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. Distract them long enough for me to break free. You can even leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Again, don't forget about me, Fritz Frivolous.
Will Stock, you shall be my next victim. Prepare yourself. And we're back.
Indeed.
Will, this second one is going to be an interesting question. It's kind of one of those scenario type questions that you're going to be in.
So you're going to put me through the ringer again.
That's putting it very nicely.
Oh no.
This one truly is going to be the one where, you know, although I'm going to leave your family out of it, right? However,
I don't know if I believe you, Tom.
I know, because I feel like you'll probably have some way of maybe having the family get in there, like due to certain reasons. You'll see.
Okay, all right.
But for the most part, you know, it's just going to be you.
All right, let's hear it.
And that is, what if you had to escape an assassination attempt?
Ooh, okay. Parameters, obviously.
So
what did I do?
So the parameters are there is this let's say there is this new world power, right?
Okay.
But they're kind of like a terrorist group.
Okay.
But they're very powerful now.
Right.
The way they strike terror among the citizens of the free world is they have these very highly trained ninjas, right?
Okay. All right. Cool.
And they just pick someone at random until that citizen's government, like they keep picking people at random, killing them off with these highly trained ninjas until those citizens' government finally falls into their demand because they don't want all their citizens to get killed.
You know,
right?
I feel like this plan wouldn't work, but fine.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't
Okay.
will, but like,
All right.
you know,
Okay.
this is the good thing about what if. Now, I am going to allow you, let's say you have seen this happening. So I'm going to say within the past year, whatever kind of training you think you want, you're going to have 1 year of this training, right?
Okay.
Of whatever it is that you may feel like you may need to use in order to escape this assassination attempt.
Okay. Okay, how do I know that I'm the target?
So the first thing that happens is the first time you encounter this ninja, he does fail, right? And how these ninjas work is they would rather keep, you know, their anonymity, their secrecy, their stealthness intact, other than like being known, like where you would know for a fact, oh, I've seen this ninja, or whatever it is. So he failed on the first attempt. Now you know you're a target.
Okay.
That's how you know.
So just sheer dumb luck.
Just sheer, yeah. Like I said, they pick citizens at random.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I don't know how much I would utilize that year of training. You know what I mean? Considering like there's 45 million people in California, 350 something million people in the U.S. Like, I mean, I just don't know if I'm going to think like, oh, I should probably, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not when you react to something, when you do something before proactively.
Oh, proactively.
I don't know if I would proactively try and train myself. You know what I mean? I don't know if I would do that.
Oh, okay. Well, before we get deep into the answer,
Yeah.
I did want to mention the fact. I wonder if these ninjas may be true because you know who hasn't been showing up to the office?
Who?
Fritz. I don't know
Oh.
what happened to Fritz.
I know. He's been gone for a while
but
now.
he
It's been
just
a few
stopped-
episodes.
He just stopped showing up to work. You know what I mean? And it started making me think: what if he has befallen being one of these?
He's the first victim
in
in the United
and has
States.
fallen, of these ninjas.
I mean, that would be sad.
But now that he hasn't shown up to work, I had to do my own deep dive on the question.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So let us see what I found.
Details from the deep.
Okay, so on this deep dive here, I actually found some interesting information where a lot of people, you know, ninjas are always shrouded in secrecy, right? You never really know what may be true here and there.
Right.
But a lot of people, you know, they think like ninjas are always a part of their own like secret order or organization, just like how I said in the parameters, it's a part of this new world power that has, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
But
I was thinking like the Hand from Daredevil.
oh, really? I was thinking of like the Foot Clan, like from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Do you remember how I told you Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is theoretically part of the Daredevil universe?
Yeah, I remember that.
Another key hint that is at least some way related is the fact that the Foot Clan is based off of the Hand from Daredevil. Yeah.
Actually, it's funny how I did think of the Foot and you thought of the Hand because I'm currently rewatching season 2 of Daredevil.
Oh, for sure.
So let's actually go with the Hand because
Sure.
that's way more serious.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the Foot, you know, they're always just
Like,
bumbling.
it's Shredder? Really? It's Shredder?
yeah, exactly. Oh, turtles! You know,
Oh my
it's
God.
like, yeah, no, it's not him.
The shredder.
But anyways, ninjas aren't
maybe all
actually
that
always a part
hardware's
of
for
some
making
type of a
coleslaw.
secret organization. And a lot of people who mastered the deadly art of ninjitsu are for obvious reasons. And it's not anything to do with their geographical location or being a part of a secret order. There was a lot of people who just studied the actual art, like martial art form,
Right.
just for the sake of knowing it and mastering it. It wasn't like they wanted to join some secret stealth.
I think that goes for
assassination
most
army.
martial arts. in
Yeah,
general.
exactly. Yeah, for, you know, also a lot of people always associate that ninjas are like in order to be a ninja, you need speed. Like speed is the best friend of the ninja, which in a lot of cases can be true. Speed isn't just for ninjas. And But a lot of times in ninjitsu, it's not just that you have to be quicker than your opponent. It's to be smarter and use your own like strengths and body weight to your advantage.
Right.
So even if you're not heavy, you can still use the body weight you do have, whether it be you're lighter person, but you can still use that to your advantage with certain techniques in ninjitsu, which is basically what the whole martial art is kind of teaching you.
Right. Okay.
Another thing that I always kind of thought, like whenever I think of ninjas, is how like they always think, oh, ninjas always use their ancient weapons, right? like the katana or like the shuriken, you know, like this throwing star.
Yeah, absolutely.
But actually, as time went on, ninjitsu, a lot of them actually learn modern weapons, especially uses of explosive, C4, stuff like that. Like a lot of it, I want to say, is minor explosive, and I think they use those for distraction, for getaway.
I mean, I think it's pretty cliche, like the smoke bomb.
Or
There's a
smoke
cliche
bomb,
ninja
I guess,
weapon.
yeah. But those were...
Or even the whole and then they're gone.
Ninja vanish. Yeah, that's what they always say. Yeah, I know.
That's too funny.
Also, another thing is a lot of people think like, oh, ninjas are going to kill you by throwing those stars, the shurikens, and that is not true. Most of the times, they don't kill you with those throwing stars.
I mean, it would be very difficult to.
It would be,
kill you
exactly, and that's the whole.
Yeah.
It's the obvious reason. That's if you're able to do that, you are, my God, like a master level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, okay, real quick, what do the shurikens like? What is the purpose versus a thrown knife? Because I feel a thrown knife, if thrown correctly, will do more damage.
I feel like. Well, I don't know. Some of the throwing stars I've seen were the blade parts were rather large, where it is comparable to the size of a small throwing knife.
Okay.
And so I think the advantage is with the throwing knife, you only have the one end that's going to do damage.
Mm-hmm.
With the shuriken, you have at least, I think 4 or 5 points of damage because it's a whole ring of like small knife sized.
Oh, so you think
blades.
it's more about the likeliness of doing damage?
Yeah, exactly. The likeliness of it landing on a point where it's gonna, the sharp point is more likely having 4 to 5 than with one knife where you only have one end because the other hand's a handle.
Okay,
right.
All right. You got more?
Oh, I just have one more.
All right.
So I don't know if you ever heard about like the ninja touch, or sometimes they'll call it like the 5-finger death touch, or stuff like that, which aren't true. Ninjas don't kill you with a touch.
Yeah.
However, in ninjitsu, they do study pressure points and they do study points of the body where I don't know how true this is. This website I'm looking at does say that there are points in the body where if you press hard enough, you can kill someone. I don't know if that's true or not. According to this, they say yes. I think it's more to do with pain. I don't think it's going to kill you.
But I mean, I don't know. You push someone's carotid artery hard enough, they'll probably fucking die.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it could be. I don't see that happening, but again,
it's
I'm
not like Kill
expert.
Bill where it's like,
yeah,
like you get 7 steps till you die. I fucking
always
love
thought
that
was
movie.
so. Yeah,
I
thought that moment was so great though, only because it brought back my schoolyard days where I remember people talking about that, and then when I see it in this movie, I was like, I knew everybody. It's true. See, like just joking around though, but like it was funny. Yeah, but no, that does not happen.
All right, so ninjas are coming for me. What are the rules here? Like, will they come for me forever?
Okay, so the rules are no. The rules are okay. Let me answer the first question though, real quick at the beginning, where you said you weren't sure how much you would be proactive, or what was that the word? Yeah, proactive about this. So, yeah, who knows if you would or not? But just to let you know, like you've been seeing people on the news, like this is a thing that's happening.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, like if that's what you were thinking, like oh, but how would I know to be proactive? Well, you would know that because they're reporting it every day on the news. Targets, multiple targets are getting killed.
I have an answer for you. You're not gonna like it.
Okay, what is that?
Like if I'm really that worried about it because it's a real deal, and I think I'm not going to be the only person who does this. I think one of the first things that me and my family are going to do is we are going to invest, and it's not just me, like me and like my family, like extended, like we're all going to invest. We're going to build like fucking panic rooms. You build you build a massive panic room with a direct line to law enforcement. If and then you have like security around your house and whatnot, like that's definitely gonna be something I invest in, because if they come for me or any of my family members, it's like everyone get in the panic room, call law enforcement.
Now No, I like that. You know, that's a very honest answer. You know, I don't know the likelihood of like, you know, who knows how much things like that cost. You know what I mean?
Right. That's why I meant like it'd be like a pool between, you know, me and everyone.
So
in the
where
family.
you're currently living at, you'd have to imagine you'd have to have it there.
Right.
Right. Let's just say it's like a $500,000 investment to build one of these. That's good enough to keep one of these.
I see. I don't think it would be, because if these motherfuckers are everywhere, guess what? There's gonna be companies popping up that are building panagrams. Panagrams are going to start just being a thing. Yes, if whole nations are going down, Tom. Yes.
Well, no, they haven't gone down yet. But this is what they're trying to do.
Okay, but still, it's gonna be a thing. But that being said, it doesn't protect me when I'm not at home. Okay. So my question: what do they just keep coming for you?
And no, they'll. So if you can survive, let's say 6 months.
Whoa!
Yeah, okay. It's gonna be wild.
You know what? I'm just gonna live my life. Like, I'm just gonna let myself die. What the fuck am I gonna do for 6 months? I have the fucking foot gang coming after me.
No, it's the hand. It's the hand.
It's the hand.
I kind of feel like, you know what? To be honest, like, okay, don't get me wrong. I see where you're coming from, because I was trying to find an answer. Like, what
I thought you were telling me 24 hours. I'm like, okay, I gotta live for 24 hours. I can make that happen.
Yeah. Okay, you know what?
6 months.
6 months.
My God.
You know what? Okay, that's probably unfair. That's probably unfair. 3 days.
Okay.
Let's do 3 days.
3 days. I gotta survive 3 days.
6 months to 3 days.
And the first dude accidentally slips and falls on his own fucking knife when he comes to kill me. That's how I find out.
Or something like that. Yeah, just that's how you would know.
He's got a big fucking hand on his chest, so I know it's the guy.
Yeah. Or maybe they're even so old school and they think they're so good that they throw one of those knives you were talking about with a little note attached to it into the wall, and it says,
and they let
"You're
you know."
next.
Okay, I thought it was gonna be something like that, where I get like basically a symbol of a hand, you know, put somewhere where like only I would look. You know what I mean? Next question: do they use modern weapons? Do they use like sniper rifles?
That was okay. No, that was the other thing. They never kill ranged. They never do a ranged kill. So everything's close quarter melee attacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, this is pretty easy, because if they are, if I have proof, I would literally just tell law enforcement they put me under protection for 3 days and probably guard me in an open field with people with guns. Let's
hope these cops are good enough to defeat these ninjas. I think this ninja would probably, you know,
like an open field. So they have to run across the open field.
Oh, an open field?
Yeah, like exactly. An open fucking field. 3 days. We're camping, guys. We're camping for 3 days. Yeah, that's an easy solution.
I know. I mean,
like, all right, get the tents out. Get the guys. We're in the middle of a field. No one crosses this fucking line.
I hope there's enough cops. Like, what if they're busy protecting other people who have been targets before you?
Well, I thought they were doing one person at a damn time.
Oh,
Tom.
no. I said multiple targets were happening. That's how you knew.
Oh,
you
it's not one. It's not like for every day you don't give us control of your empire. We will.
No.
So it's like, how many people are being? Okay, guess what? Like, guess what? I have that they don't proof that they're after me.
What do you mean?
Because I have the dumb fuck that killed himself right here on accident. So I have proof that they're after me.
Yeah. Also, you had that note. Remember?
And the note.
Yeah.
Okay. My point is like, I have proof, so they will probably be protecting me. Do the other people have proof?
I mean, I'm assuming that they wouldn't just go to the cops.
So everyone's getting a note saying, "Hey, you."
Yeah.
Okay. How many people?
Let's say within our undisclosed location where you live area, there's probably like maybe 50 to 75 people that are being targeted.
In this county?
Yeah.
So, okay, Tom.
This is a whole army, Will. Okay,
Tom,
these are
you're talking about them assassinating like 2,000 plus people a day.
Hey, that's how you have to bring government to their knees.
There's no way.
Man.
I cannot believe this.
Government to the knees.
If they had the capability of doing this, they would just assassinate everyone in leadership, Tom.
They don't like doing it that way.
No, that's not acceptable. You got to give me something more realistic than this. That's ridiculous.
Something more realistic than ninjas coming.
Like, it has to work within a certain amount of confines of reality.
Okay. Like, I did that all on purpose because I didn't want you to backtrack on that.
Ridiculous.
No. You're the only one in this area.
Yes.
You're the only one. There are multiple targets, but it's not like that.
Right. By the way,
so you would get the.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so you would get the police.
Yeah,
like,
because I have proof, and like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually had like an even better plan than what I have, because obviously this has been going on, right? So at this point, like, they've probably failed to save X amount of people, and like they've come up with better game plan scenarios, right?
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Another thing too is like I probably would have got some sort of like firearm training, right? And I'd probably be armed along with the police in this case.
That's what I was thinking. I would think that if you knew this, I would feel like you, out of a lot of people I know, would be the one of the first people to get some type of training. I don't know what it would be, but you would get something, right?
I mean, again,
you know,
I thought they were killing one person a day when you asked me this question. So I was like, what are the chances? It's like the lottery. Like fuck it, whatever.
No, it was. When I first asked you, it was like one person a day. But I still would have thought you would have been
that wouldn't,
you know what, just case.
I mean, I would have thought about it maybe eventually, but like, it wouldn't have been like, I don't know. I don't know if I would have been immediately motivated to go that far. But if they're killing 2,000 people a day, we're fleeing the country. That's the real But at this point, it's too late. So outside of that, I mean, I think that's my best bet is to get armed protection. And like you said, they only do melee, so like they're gonna have to like get in amongst us and like.
You know why I wanted to put melee? Because if they didn't do melee,
there's no way. There's no way.
Dead. Yeah.
Do they send one ninja at a time? Like, do I have to worry about 100 ninjas showing up? You know, then like again, it gets to the point where it's like I just give up.
There's not. Yeah.
I just would say my goodbyes.
Yeah. There would be nothing one man could do against. Even,
an army of ninjas.
5 ninjas?
Yeah, exactly.
Like against him? Like a highly trained 5 ninjas?
So a ninja assassination.
Like the League of Shadows ninjas?
Right, exactly. So I mean that's all I got. I don't know what else I would do besides that. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm already assuming like I can't run anywhere because they'll track me.
Yeah,
like
so
exactly. that's off the table. Running's off the table.
They obviously already.
I don't think I can out defend myself against a ninja. Mm-hmm. So that's off the table. So my only chance is either like find some sort of panic room or get literal like bodyguards to protect me.
Yeah.
The only bodyguards I'm going to be able to get are the public ones at the police station that hopefully are willing to put me under fucking protection because the hand's coming after me.
You know, also too, the thing that you raised up about the panic rooms, like the prices falling because of the fact that now everyone's going to be wanting investing in them. Yeah. I feel kind of like there would be a lot of these now, like, you know, personal bodyguard services that you could probably get that are somewhat affordable now because of the fact that everybody is trying to do that. Although
possibly, I don't know how effective they would be.
Although building, you know, panic rooms versus getting a job where you're literally putting your life in danger would be, you know, way easier.
Yeah, why would you do that for a living?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some people do, you know what I mean? But like, also, I was thinking in my head though, the whole thing about your like, you know, being in a field and like you have these cops is like, I could just imagine, because like, that's a very good idea, like if you wanted to be that way. But in my head I was thinking, man, you know, what if this ninja had somehow did get the one cop that's in the outskirts of this grid of cops that you have surrounding
got his uniform
and then being that one guy that just sneakily kind of got closer and closer to you, like, oh man.
It's like day 1 he's within 1,000 feet, day 2 he's on the inner circle.
Yeah, you know, like
well, they would probably have a thing too. It's like where I only get approached by like one of like 3 officers. You know what I mean?
Oh, like you only communicate with the ones that they like, tell you to communicate with.
You can talk to Jeff or Bob.
Oh, you know.
Anyone else comes near you, fucking shoot them. I mean,
like call for help or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. I wouldn't think about that either. Because like you're right. Because otherwise, if they did do that, you wouldn't know. You'd be in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
But dude, could you imagine?
The podcast you have just heard are the imaginings from the highly evolved minds of the extra-dimensional beings, Will and Tom. It has been translated into a format more easily understood by the human mind. Interpret it as you will. Should you find yourself seeking more answers to life's most intriguing mysteries, you can show your support by becoming a Patreon member at patreon.com/dude could you imagine. You can also leave an Apple Podcast review. You can subscribe to us on Instagram at dude_could-you-imagine, on Twitter at DCYimagine, and on our YouTube channel, where you can leave a like and a comment. We can also be reached through our email, dudecouldyoimagine@gmail.com. We leave you now so that you may gather your thoughts until we meet again to ponder the meaning of the cosmos and ask, dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Yeah, and then he goes home, and then like oh, dude, did you focus on her? Did you focus on it? You know what I mean? And they're like, dude, what is she thinking?
Oh
what is
my
she thinking?
goodness,
You know what
Tom.
I mean? Like,
you're right though. You are absolutely right.
I think that's
yes,
how that would go.
Yeah.